This channel mainly focuses on FIFA Ultimate Team, but every year when EA releases news about the next FIFA, I always take the time to see what other new features are being added to the other game modes. Today we will be looking at career mode. Career mode seems to have quite a few new changes this year, but not all of them are created equal, as you will soon see. But before we do get into the video, if you're looking to get some very easy coins for FIFA 22 Ultimate Team, then there is no better place than Mule Factory. Head over there to get yourself some cheap, fast FIFA 22 coins, completely reliable, and if you use Fnatic 5 at checkout, you'll also get yourself a 5% discount. Link can be found in the description down below. And getting back into the video, currently there's loads of information being released for FIFA 23. Every couple of days we get new trailers, new announcements and new pitch notes talking about every change coming to the various different game modes. Today we will be looking at everything coming for FIFA 23 career mode. Firstly, there are new player personalities. Players will now be broken down into 3 different personality types. You have Maverick, Heartbeat and Virtuoso. Each of them are different and will provide different benefits to each player within game. Mavericks are aggressively chasing goals and acting on intuition, seeking stardom on and off the pitch. They're more individualistic in general, focusing on their own achievements. A Heartbeat player is like the pulse of a team, reading the game ahead of their opponent and dominating through willpower, determination and resilience. Their top priority is to be sure that the whole team benefits from their presence. They're not caring so much about the personal reward on the shelf, but more about trying their best to fill the team's trophy cabinet. Virtuosos are skillful and intelligent, relying on their ability to change the course of a match in a blink of an eye. Completely focused on their performance, they are also ambitious, but most of their battles are internal. They aim to demonstrate they are capable of putting their stamp on the game while achieving their goals. They are rather humble, focusing their finances and influence towards getting to their athletic goals more efficiently. And with each of these personalities, as you play more matches, you will gain more personality points. The total number of personality points can grant you new tiers of personality, and the higher the level, the higher the attribute bonuses become. In short, depending how you play will affect the personality type, and the personality type will affect what happens in and around the game. All in all, I think this is pretty neat, but I hope it does actually have an effect, because this is where it also crosses over into something which is kind of weird in my opinion. Partnering up with these personalities, there's certain things that you can now do within the menu. These are tabs that can be found under decisions, shopping and investments. These are things that you can do, or in some cases just buy into, and by actually selecting these items or decisions, you will be rewarded with some of those personality points. But it just seems like filler content. In the trailer we saw decisions, which would be a low match performance, commit to improvement, read a book by a club legend. Under shopping we saw purchase handmade shirts and silk ties, buy a top-end bike, order a suit from a top designer, hire an assistant. And from investments, we saw esports team, phone app, microfinance, clothes branding, and invest in sports equipment. And within the trailer, when one of these were selected, it didn't play out a cinematic, it didn't play out anything. It was just you were rewarded with whatever personality points were behind it. Not gonna lie, it looks like a pretty crappy system. The personality side of things is pretty good, but this extra thing with selecting different decisions, shopping and investments, it just seems like adding a feature for the sake of adding a feature. But moving on from player personalities, the next one is playable highlights. This is another change that I think is pretty decent. In previous FIFAs, you've had the option to play the full match or you can simulate the full match. In FIFA 23, there's an option right in the middle. These are playable highlights. It allows you to simulate the game, but when a key opportunity happens, a goal scoring chance, maybe a defending chance to make sure that you stay ahead, you will be able to opt in and play that selected moment. In your manager career, you can choose to play all the highlights in a match or choose to play just the attacking ones by allowing a simulation to decide the defensive outcomes. Really, it comes down to you and what you want to do, and you can focus on the aspect of the game that you want to focus on. Decide which you enjoy the most. With your player career, it's similar to playing a full match. Playable highlights offer two options: controlling the entire team or just the player you began your career with. If you choose to play controlling only your player, the system will only show highlights that your player is actively involved in, while resolving other highlights in the background. All in all, I think that this is a good addition to the game. I wouldn't say it's a massive game changer, but it's definitely going to make things slightly more enjoyable. Even though this channel is mainly around Ultimate Team, I do occasionally play career mode, especially at the beginning of the year, but I always tend to get bored because it is the case of I start playing all these matches and then gameplay starts to frustrate me and I just don't want to do it as it takes so long, and then I focus on the menu. This is when I start to simulate all my games, but then it's the case of even after a while that starts to get boring. I do like this change and maybe I'll play career mode a bit longer next year, but with this we just need to wait and see. The next change comes with the new menu layout. This is a small thing in a grand scheme of things, but it is a full redesign. It should be making things a lot easier to navigate when going through the menu, making things slightly more efficient. There are lots of players that do exactly what I do, which is where they start to play the game just because it's new and then gradually move towards simulating all of their matches as they just want to focus on the manager side of things, where you focus on managing your club, looking at players you want to bring in and getting rid of the players that you don't want in your team. The menu certainly helps to make things easier, but let's not mistake this as a massive game changer. Looking at your player career specifically, we have new dynamic moments. There's always been dynamic moments within previous FIFA, so this isn't a new thing, but this has been expanded to be new types of moments as well as a lot more of them. There are now cinematic sequences to celebrate key moments. This could be you switching to another club, other players transferring to the same club as you, where there could be a new friendship on the horizon, or it could be something where there's a bit more drama as you both battle out for the exact same position. There's also key moments in your player career. On the manager side of things, if you're playing as a manager, there's not as many dynamic moments, which you will see, but there will be other things added to the transfer market. This being when you do actually go through the process of negotiating. Now, as it looks and what has currently been shown, it seems like the transfer negotiation is pretty much exactly the same as what we've had in previous years, but towards the end, you will have a transfer analysis. You are graded on how well you negotiated for a player, whether or not that player can fit into your team, and it will give you suggestions of where they will be good and actually fit around with different players. Plus, it'll also give you a grade based on how well you did to get that player for a certain price or a certain length for their loan contract. This is supposed to help you figure out how you are buying players and whereabouts you're lacking in your ability to negotiate, so that next time you negotiate, you're able to implement those tips and get that player for a much better deal. Now, these are all the main changes coming to FIFA 23 career mode. There are some additional stuff which is slightly smaller, so I didn't really include it as a section for this video, which goes over manager customization, as well as EA mentioned new AI changes to make it more responsive based on the actions that happen within game. For example, if within the first half you manage to go 2-3-0 up, by the second half the opposition is going to be making substitutes to be more offensive, rather than it being completely random based on the substitutes being brought into the game. But in all honesty, I'm not gonna lie, I did already think that that was part of FIFA. All in all, there are some okay changes coming to career mode within FIFA 23, but nothing too crazy that I'm excited to go through this game mode. I guess the personalities and the playable highlights are pretty decent, and those are probably the best features added, but even in those, there's some things that just I can't get with. I don't see the point of being able to buy a bike because I'm not going to be using it. There's no cinematics around them, and it is just a case of, okay, you've bought it, you've lost money, and you've got these playable points which already are changing within the game by itself. I think instead of wasting time trying to focus on investment, shopping, and also decisions, to just have decisions, make it broader, make it much more in-depth, and include some actual dynamic moments in them. Of course, not include that for every player because that's quite a lot of work to be done. They definitely have one or two key players that can be part of dynamic moments, which does affect their player personality. Because to me, what is added so far and what has been shown, it just seems like feature creeper of just trying to push features for the sake of being able to push them. But in actual fact, they don't really do anything. They have no benefit to the game, whether they're part of the game or even taken away. It makes no difference to gameplay. That is just my opinion on the matter. Let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think of what's being revealed with career mode. Is there anything here that you are excited for, or do you think that these are just mediocre changes? Thank you very much for watching. I hope you guys did enjoy. If you did enjoy, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. But for now, I'm going to see ya.